Hey folks, it's Greg and Janet with Strange RV Tours. We'd like to welcome you to another episode of our epic Route 66 journey. Let's get started.
Strange RV Tours will take you places with Greg and Janet's smiling faces. You might see a crazy flavored soda review or some tips to fit your RV too. So come along, won't you join us, friend, as we discover what's around the bend. Just sit right back in your easy chair. Strange RV Tours is on the air. Strange RV Tours is on the air.
All right, folks, this is the gravesite of Tyrone Power, the great actor. And 1914 to 1958. He's got a bench here and a large book at his gravesite. Let's see if I can read. He's right by the pond. Isn't that cool? Let's see if we can't read what it says here. There is a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, it's not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all. The good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. Hamlet, William Shakespeare. Got his initials here. What a beautiful place to lay at rest, though. Isn't that nice? This large mausoleum right here on the island inside of the pond is William A. Clark Jr. He founded the Los Angeles Philharmonic Symphony Orchestra in 1924. He was a copper and railroad magnate. He's entombed between his two wives and some of his art collection inside of that mausoleum. Right here behind me is the mausoleum or tomb of Marion Davies. She was the girlfriend of William Randolph Hearst. He owned Hearst Castle. He was a newspaper magnate. And Marion Davies was an actress. Have you ever seen this movie Citizen Kane? It was about William Randolph Hearst, and it had references to Marion Davies in the movie. All right, now I'm not sure if this is an actual gravesite or if this is a cenotaph, but this is for Hattie McDaniel. To honor her last wish, Hattie McDaniel, 1895 to 1952, renowned performer, Academy Award 1939, Gone with the Wind. Aunt Hattie, you are a credit to your craft, your race, and your family. Edgar Goff. Dedication, October 26, 1999. Now, if memory serves me right, Hattie was the first woman of color to receive an Academy Award. She's the first African American to receive an Academy Award. She wanted to be buried here at Hollywood Forever, but I believe at that time they weren't allowing blacks to be buried here. And I don't know if they've moved her body here or if this is just a cenotaph, but it's here. Rest in peace, Hattie. We're standing here in front of the gravesite of Johnny Ramone. It says Johnny Ramone, born John Cummings, legendary guitarist for the Ramones, born October 8th, 1948, died September 15th, 2004. If a man can tell if he's been successful in his life by having great friends, then I have been very successful. Johnny Ramone. He was the guitarist for the band the Ramones. He was a founding member. He's also listed in Time Magazine's 2009 issue on the 10 greatest electric guitar players. He ranked number 8 on Spin's 2012 list of 100 greatest guitar players of all time, and number 28 on the Rolling Stones similar list. So let's see what people have to say here on his gravesite. He was a great American and the greatest friend. I love you, John, Eddie Vedder. A dedicated punk and loyal friend. Thanks for everything. I miss you, Johnny. Rob Zombie. You're my partner. You're the coolest. I love you so much. Forever and always. Love, Linda Ramone. Forever here today, never gone tomorrow. My eternal friend. I love you. Lisa Marie Presley. Look at these markers here. These, what would you call those? These, like almost like medallions. Johnny, Joey, Dee Dee, and Tommy, the band members of the Ramones. And on this side we have please come back. Love, Vincent Gallo. As good a friend as there ever was, John Frusciante. That is a beautiful, beautiful headstone. I guess you'd call it a headstone. I don't know what you'd call that. Marker? So we're standing in front of the gravesite of Cecil B. DeMille and his wife Constance Adams DeMille. Cecil was a famous movie producer and creator. He died in 1959 at 77 years of age, and there is a evil black cat here. This evil black cat does not like our dog Max being with us. He's getting his dander all raised up. Our dog Max is right here.
Yep.
He don't like it at all. But anyhow, this is the resting place of Cecil B. DeMille, folks. This is the burial site of Don Adams, better known as Max from Get Smart. April 13th, 1923 to September 25th, 2005. Beloved husband, father, and grandfather, proudly served his country during World War II in the United States Marine Corps. Comedian, poet, philosopher, movie buff, and never late for post time. A tough but sensitive man with a sentimental heart and a passionate soul. He touched our hearts as Maxwell Smart, Secret Agent 86 in the 1960s classic TV series Get Smart, and filled the world with laughter that will be forever remembered. Would you believe? This is the gravesite of Virginia Repay, 1895 to 1921. You may not have heard of her before, but you've probably heard of her story. If you've ever heard of the actor and comedian Fatty Arbuckle, Fatty Arbuckle, back in the late teens and first part of 1920 and 21, he was one of the biggest actors in all of Hollywood. He was originally hired to build sets at one of the movie studios, and the owner of the studio saw him and saw that he was a very large man, very heavy man, but he had great athleticism and he was very funny. And as he watched this, as the owner of the studios watched Fatty Arbuckle work, he thought to himself, I think I can turn him into a star. So sure enough, he hired him to be an actor and started putting out some movies with Fatty Arbuckle. It became a huge success, and he ended up signing a huge contract. Bought a new Pierce Arrow, had a mansion, and to celebrate the signing of his huge contract, he rented some suites at a hotel in San Francisco to have a big party, and Virginia Repay was one of the guests. During the party, Virginia Repay went back into one of the bedrooms, and who knows what happened, but basically she ended up dying of peritonitis. Fatty Arbuckle was accused of many things. There was a wine bottle found in the bedroom. They accused him of using the wine bottle to injure her. He was accused of having sex with her, but he was so heavy that he may have crushed her. All of that turned out basically to be not true. He had gone in there to check on her. There was all kinds of guests there that evening. Nobody saw Fatty do anything crazy or anything bad, but he was put on trial for the murder of Virginia Repay, and ended up, I think he was put on trial twice, but ended up he was acquitted, but it destroyed his career. And Virginia Repay was a young actress at the time, who some people say ran around a lot, but who knows? But anyways, it did ruin Fatty Arbuckle's career. She's buried right here next to Henry Learman. And Henry Learman was in love with Virginia Repay, and he swore if he ever met Arbuckle again, ever came across Fatty Arbuckle again, that he would kill him. But Henry Learman visited Virginia Repay's gravesite at least once a week for 25 years until his death. And then upon his death, he asked to be buried next to her. So he is buried next to his sweetheart. All right, folks, we've got a little surprise here we didn't expect. This is the gravesite of Burt Reynolds from Smokey and the Bandit and Deliverance and all kinds of wonderful movies. He was actually only buried here in February of 2021. Does not have the birth or death dates on the marker yet. But this is where Burt Reynolds is buried. And he has a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
Right here in front of the geese.
Yeah, geese.
And the ponds.
And turtles and...
But yes, this is Burt Reynolds. We had no idea he was buried here. We literally just were walking through the graveyard, and Janet noticed this stone, and we looked it up, and sure enough, he was buried here just a few months ago. So rest in peace, my friend Burt Reynolds. You brought me lots of happiness during my lifetime. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Cool. Sally Fields and all that. That's neat.
This area that we're walking down to here, this entire section over here is Douglas Fairbanks gravesite, and Douglas Fairbanks Jr. Now, Douglas Fairbanks Sr. was a star in silent films. He was at one time married to Mary Pickford, who is like the mother of films, and their home was called Pickfair. You've probably heard of it. At one time it was the most famous home probably in the United States. And I believe they had a swimming pool that was ridiculous. This is like 1/8 of a mile long, and they would float around in boats and stuff in their swimming pool. And later in life, or later in time, Pia Zadora and her husband moved into Pickfair and had the entire home gutted and demolished and built a new mansion in its place. But this is the resting spot of Douglas Fairbanks and Douglas Fairbanks Jr. Douglas Fairbanks is buried in the lower portion of the tomb here, And then Douglas Fairbanks Jr. is buried above him. On the tomb it says, "Good night, sweet princess, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest." There's a bench back behind the mausoleum or tomb here. Just got his face up on the wall. Douglas Fairbanks, 1883 to 1939. Douglas Fairbanks Jr., 1909 to 2000. Look at the size of the reflection pool and just the area of the gravesite. It's the biggest gravesite I've ever seen.
You know what was really strange?
What?
There was a pure white pigeon sitting at the end
Really?
a few minutes ago. Pure white, solid, gorgeous pigeon.
So we've seen a black cat
Yes.
that was not happy on one grave,
Yes.
and a white pigeon on one.
Yes.
Hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Here's a memorial to Toto the dog from The Wizard of Oz. It says this monument is dedicated to the memory of the beloved Toto from the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz. After the death of Toto, originally named Terry in 1945, owner and trainer Carl Spitz buried the Cairn Terrier on his ranch in Studio City. In 1958, construction of the Ventura Freeway destroyed her resting place.
Aw.
See if I can see this here. We give you the new home 53 years later, as there's no place like home. Rest in peace, dear friend. The Toto Memorial Committee, J.P. Meyer, Steve Goldstein, Fix Nation, June 18th, 2011. So Toto may actually be buried there. I don't know.
Wow.
But it's definitely a memorial, if not. Mickey Rooney, September 23rd, 1920 to April 6th, 2014. One of the greatest entertainers the world has ever known. Hollywood will always be his home. Isn't that the truth? I remember him with all the Judy Garland films.
Yep.
He was a very, very wonderful entertainer. We're entering the Cathedral Mausoleum. All right, we're in the Cathedral Mausoleum. Here's where David White, who played Larry Tate on Bewitched. This is his remains here. They have a face sculpture of him, and this appears to be his son.
Wow. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he was. Rest in peace, Larry. All right, this is the final resting place of Rudolph Valentino. Rudolfo Guglielmi Valentino, 1895 to 1926. When Valentino died in 1926, several women committed suicide. The whole nation mourned for him. His funeral that was held here drew over 10,000 people. He was laid to rest in a silver bronze coffin wearing a slave bracelet that had been given to him by his wife, actress Natasha Rambova. He was going to stay here at this spot until a more impressive mausoleum could be built for the famous star. He was placed temporarily here. This spot actually belonged to his friend and discoverer, screenwriter June Mathis. Unfortunately, the the building of a larger space for him never occurred, and he remains here to this day. It's kind of unusual in that Valentino actually stood here often at his burial site to place flowers on the crypt of Mrs. Mathis's mother, Virginia Mathis, who lies just below Valentino. And of course, the lady in black still attracts attention and news media whenever she appears to leave roses on his site of death. Here's Virginia Ruth Mathis's mother's space. And here is June Mathis Balboni herself. She ended up in the spot next to Rudolph Valentino. And right across from us here is where actor Peter Finch lies in rest. Distinguished actor, loving husband and father, September 28th, 1912 to January 14th, 1977, forever in our hearts. Here is the resting place of Carl Switzer, better known as Alfalfa from our gang, from the Little Rascals. It says, beloved father, son, and brother, Carl Alfalfa Switzer. August 7th, 1927 to January 21st, 1959. He was shot and killed over a $50 debt. At the time, I believe he was working as a fishing guide, hunting and fishing guide. So, sad situation. Here lies Benjamin Siegel, also known as Bugsy Siegel. February 28th, 1906, June 20th, 1947. In loving memory from the family. Bugsy was killed in 1947. He was shot in the face. He is well known for being a mafia member and also building the Flamingo Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. He basically invented the way the Strip, or what the Strip would become later. Las Vegas would not be the same if it weren't for Bugsy. Benjamin Siegel. He did not like being called Bugsy. Right there, that is the resting place of Darla Jean Hood, also known as Darla Hood. Says beloved daughter, 1931 to 1979. She played Darla on The Little Rascals. Okay, folks, this is the final resting place of Judy Garland. June 10th, 1922 to June 22nd, 1969. I'll come to you smiling through the years. People have left a Wizard of Oz book, a rainbow, and a drawing of Judy. She was an incredible talent, beautiful voice, beautiful lady who never thought she was beautiful. I have a lot of memories of her, and of course in Wizard of Oz, but also in all the Mickey Rooney movies. And this portion of the mausoleum is known as the Judy Garland Pavilion. People leave all kinds of mementos for Judy. So, beautiful resting area. They've got benches here for people that want to, or seats for people that want to come visit. Our last burial site today is of Clifton Webb, 1889 to 1966. Clifton Webb was a popular character actor. He was nominated for Academy Awards in Laura, The Razor's Edge, and Sitting Pretty. He died of a heart attack in 1966 at age 73. There are reports that Clifton Webb haunts the hallway here in the mausoleum. That's spooky. Haunted mausoleum, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Please rest in peace, Clifton. All right, folks, well, we hope you enjoyed this little visit that we made to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery in Hollywood, California. If you did, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, hit the little bell up in the corner. Please share these videos. And folks, if you enjoyed this video on Route 66, there's many more to come. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.